The world isn't beautiful, but it's still worth fighting for. Fighting may not result in success, but the fight itself is all important. However, does all the effort truly have an ultimate meaning? In the end, Frankie sits there lonely in between nowhere and goodbye. Hello, everyone. This channel is called 1000th Hamlet. Don't be fooled by the movie's title, Million Dollar Baby, and do not mistakenly take its meaning as an inspirational story about a nobody fighting hard to earn millions of dollars and financial success. In essence, it's a tragedy about two troubled characters. Maggie's death is heartbreaking, and by ending Maggie's life with his own hands, it's also devastating for Frankie. The sorrow that this movie brings upon us penetrates the heart to the bone. Million Dollar Baby is an Academy Award-winning film that stars and is directed by Clint Eastwood. Clint's character is a boxing gym owner. He's a great boxing coach and a cut man. Masterful actor Morgan Freeman plays an experienced boxer named Scrap, helping Frankie to run the gym. Hilary Swank is the leading actress Maggie, the dedicated boxer. All three provide a great and amazing performance in the film. A great movie begins with a good script, and a good script includes good lines. The lines mirror the characters. The lines become their souls. The lines in Clint's movies are clear and powerful, like that of Hemingway's. Also, the voiceover uttered by Morgan provides vital information outside the picture and gives us significant foreshadowing. In this video, I will provide analysis from the perspective of its lines. Maggie's family is not significant. She's a 30-something female who is working as a restaurant waitress and exists hand to mouth. She grew up knowing one thing, Scrap says. She was trash. However, the trash is mentally strong and independent, owing to some spiritual heritage from her father. And Dad used to tell me I fought to get into this world, and I'd fight my way out, Maggie tells us. The only thing that fascinates Maggie is boxing, but she lacks a good coach. She approaches Frankie in an attempt to get him to coach her, but Frankie is cold and initially has no intention of coaching her. Frankie says, "Girlie, tough ain't enough." But Maggie doesn't give up. She goes to Frankie's boxing hall every day to train herself and pays for that. Scrap starts to admire the strong-minded girl and teaches her some steps. Yet Frankie remains stubborn, believing that Maggie is already too old for boxing and too weak in basics. He laughs at Maggie on the speed bag. "That bag is working on you." The turning point comes when Maggie utters a sentence full of dignity. "I want a trainer. I don't want charity. I don't want favors." God helps those who help themselves. This ever-unbending quality of Maggie compels Frankie to devote almost all of his time to Maggie, especially when his favorite disciple Willie could no longer wait and makes contacts with other managers. Between Frankie and Maggie, some complex affection is growing, like father and daughter, like master and disciple, and like lovers. With Frankie's help, Maggie gets on the right track. She knocks out opponents one after another. She progresses to higher and higher levels. She now displays formidable and comprehensive boxing skills. When it comes to the middleweight class, Frankie hesitates and slows down. He has seen too many times that some wonderful boxers could be severely injured or even die in these matches. One can never tell. Scrap is a prime example. He loses his right eye in his 109th match. But boxers bathed in the pursuit of fame, seeking, chanting, and gold belts will think otherwise. They believe that they will always be triumphant. People never take their own advice until it's too late. Don't get Frankie wrong. As a boxing coach, he also longs for victory and glory, but he also cares for his boxers and wants to prevent them from serious injuries. This desire keeps holding him back and tormenting him. Frankie says, "I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'm just trying to keep you from doing the same." Some may think he is too old and conservative, like Willie. Frankie knows that he fears that Maggie will think the same. Because of this, he asks Scrap to test Maggie by arranging a meeting with another famed manager. To his surprise, Maggie needs no one but Frankie. She turns down the invitation abruptly. "Maggie always did like taking them out in the first round," Frankie says. In the middleweight class, Maggie has no real competition until she meets Billy the Blue Bear. Billy is an ex-prostitute boxer from East Germany. She is a skilled as well as a dirty boxer with an ugly record. They start a fierce tit-for-tat boxing match that Maggie finally wins. At the moment when Maggie turns around to celebrate, Billy punches her from her back. Maggie is down with her neck heavily falling on a boxer's stool, which is inserted to the ring by Billy's coach, intentionally or unintentionally. Maggie is paralyzed, lying in bed, always recalling Frankie's words. "Always protect yourself." Unfortunately, it is too late. Frankie calls all the best doctors he could find, but none could cure Maggie. She will have to spend the rest of her life paralyzed. A tough and confident girl who apparently won the game becomes the victim of a sneak attack to an injury that will affect her for life. How deplorable. How much we now hate Billy the Blue Bear. Reality is so cruel. Scrap's remarks earlier in the movie are foreboding. Boxing is about respect, getting it for yourself and taking it away from the other guy. He had already explained the cruelty of the sport of boxing. Maggie's self-respect is taken away, among many other things. Her mother and sister are only money grubbers. They are no longer family. Maggie only has father-like Frankie with her, and one day she opens her heart to him. "I got what I needed. I got it all. Don't let them keep taking it away from me. Don't let me lie here till I can't hear those people chanting no more." Whenever I watch this chapter, I cannot hold back my tears. Maggie's left leg is amputated because of bed sores. She wants to end her own life as quickly as possible. She begs Frankie to do it, just like her father did for their handicapped and weak family dog. She even tries to bite her own tongue. In the end, she gets what she wants from Frankie, and she is told the real meaning of her applauded name, Mo Kushli, meaning "my darling, my blood." She passes away in a quiet and saddening way, yet for her it may have brought relief and closure. A man who experiences the unbearable heaviness of life, along with the random lightness of life, is Frankie. He is the more tragic character. The tragedy is to tear apart the beautiful things before you. But if you have to tear apart some beautiful things you bring up, what sort of tragedy is it really? Like in a battlefield when a soldier gives a shot to his dear but mortally wounded comrade, Frankie pulls off Maggie's respirator and gives her a shot of adrenaline, enough of a dose to keep her sleeping forever. When he somberly finishes everything, what is left in his heart? Are pain, sorrow, guilt, or unwillingness all combined? No, there's only desolation. And when he walked out, I don't think he had anything left. Frankie never returns. Sorrow is engraved in his bones, and he has no tears to shed. What we hear is a voiceover from Scrap. Frankie didn't leave a note, and nobody knew where he went. I'd hope he'd gone to find you and ask you one more time to forgive him. But maybe he didn't have anything left in his heart. I just hope he found some place where he could find a little peace. A place set in the cedars and oak trees, somewhere between nowhere and goodbye. But that's probably wishful thinking. No matter where he is, I thought you should know what kind of man your father really was. At the end of the movie, we see Frankie sitting inside Ira's roadside diner, a lemon pie restaurant where he and Maggie used to spend some nice moments together. He just sits there between nowhere and goodbye. All of a sudden I think of Sisyphus, the enslaved man bound to an endless penal servitude of rolling a stone up a mountain just to see it roll back down. Is he really fighting against his fate?